I'm gonna hold a second, let folks trickle in here. I'm really grateful my voice feels or sounds more clear than I thought it was gonna sound, and I'm happy about that. You guys. I guess let me start over with a quick introduction. My name is Alami Bashir. I'm an intuitive life coach. And every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 Eastern, I do a live morning message. These are collective messages, intuitive, channeled messages. And I share them with the hope that you will take away something very tangible that you can use to set your intention around today. I've been sick for a few days, and so I feel a little bit out of sorts, but y'all bear with me as I get myself back in order. For those of you who are not familiar with me, who I am and what I do, I welcome you to visit BeGreatEveryday.com, BeGreatEveryday.com to learn more. But let's get into it. So yeah, I've been sick. I got dengue fever, which is a mosquito-borne illness that's common in the tropics. And I got it, and so did my partner, of course, and because we were obviously bitten by the same bug, literally. Yeah, the last several days I've been forced to sit in somewhat of isolation. Of course, completely under the weather, head throbbing, whole everything just a mess. As the illness is literally just trying to take over my whole body and mind. But without even going, I'll tell that story another day of my illness and that recovery process and what this is like. But I really want to talk about the isolation that it forced me into. You know, I never know what's going to come through in these messages, including today. But as I have been sitting around the house the last 6 days, and almost silenced because I was coughing and headaches and all these kinds of things, I've really had an opportunity to just sit and incubate with not just myself, but also with the latest changes and things happening in the world. Yes, I am back. Good to see you. Yeah, I've been incubating not with just this illness, but I've been incubating in some really deep and difficult realities as we, as Americans, have seen some change in the political infrastructure in America. And of course, that was preceded by this whole social media fanfare. And, you know, when you're sick, you don't really have a lot of energy to talk to people or to do much, but the phone and the social media is always there. And so while I was kind of removed from life and reality, I was still kind of scrolling to just stay abreast of everybody else's experiences. Well, finally, after day 6, I've started feeling better. And I've been able to more process what energetically feels like deep transformation and change on the horizon. And I want to talk about it a little bit. Okay. So this isn't even about politics, honestly. I don't care who you vote for, if you vote, or what your affiliations or situation is. Um, but I do care how you feel. And from what I can see on social media, there's a lot of people with really strong opinions right now. And those opinions are just flying fucking everywhere, okay? It's like if you got an opinion, insert it here. That's like, you know, social media one-on-one. If you got an opinion, insert here. Um, and just to be kind of what felt like a fly on the wall for a second, just watching, you know, folks from both sides of the aisle, as they say, and no sides of the aisle, um, express some really deep concerns about their reality. And I've gotten a chance to kind of watch it unfold like an experiment in a petri dish. Um, Again, it's not about who you voted for or what you voted. It has nothing to do with the actual politics. For me, I've been really watching this process of propaganda and what some of you may call reality. Um, it's just like a weird science experiment playing out right in front of our eyes. And, you know, as I watch folks who are excited that their person got elected and folks that are disgruntled that their person didn't, and so many in between who are really trying to figure out what the fuck is next, I felt like this message today was probably going to speak to that. The what next and what now. Okay. What next and what now? I tuned into a little bit of a reading of an astrologer that I like to watch her content. And she told me something about, or not me, but she in the reading said something about Tuesday being a very emotional day. And I swear it must have been like when the clock struck midnight, I started feeling like extremely emotional. And even now, as I'm sharing this message, and I haven't even gotten into the heart of it, I'm starting to kind of well up a little bit. And I know it's because the empath in me feels so deeply for humanity. I feel so deeply for humanity. I'm intuitive. I don't just pick up, you know, what your forecast is for next year or, you know, should you date this person or not. I literally feel the energy and frequency of humans in collection. Okay. And so even when things don't directly impact me or affect me, I still have a very deep-hearted response to it. And it really just makes me want to cry right now. Not because there's no hope and there's no help and there's no opportunity in the midst of what might feel like deep change. But what really makes me sad today, is that I feel the fear that so many people have right now. And it makes me sad not because fear is not a healthy and natural, normal emotion in our human experience, but I feel the fear of a collective that has no direction. I feel the energy of people in mass that feel defeated and feel overwhelmed by all that is going on our national and global stages. I feel the weight and the burden of humanity. Now, some might say, you know, maybe I was sick and I'm just a little emotional, and And there's probably something to that, but I don't feel like these are actually my own feelings. I feel like I'm holding the heartbeat, I will not say of America, but I feel like I'm holding the soul conscience of so many people who are not sure what to do or which way to turn or how to navigate or what does it mean for them. And it just feels like an overarching fear of uncertainty, rooted in uncertainty and worry and all of this negative emotion. And that is what makes me sad, is that people are feeling all of these things and don't have anywhere to put these feelings. People are feeling all of these things and have no real strategies for how to self-care and self-soothe. And the thing that keeps coming to me wholeheartedly is this need to build community. It's like everybody needs somebody right now. Everybody. Everybody needs somebody right now. So, and this is not about finding a lover or, befriending people and getting in inauthentic relationships, but it is about really connecting with your tribe. And it is about really having these conversations out loud and in forum, in community with other people so that they can support you and you can support them. It feels like now more than ever we've got to keep our our lines open. Um, I don't know if you all have realized this or not, but your walk in this life really is not about the people and players that you see in front of you. It really goes above them. And the more you try to look for answers and solutions and clarity in the faces of people that are the people that are positioned in front of you as governance, the more you try to look in that direction for solution, I think the more troubling it becomes. So you got to go above them. I swear I have no idea that these feelings are just so rich. You gotta go above them, y'all. And I know that this is a hard conversation to have with some of you because when I say go above them, it's like you gotta go to a higher power. You gotta go to something that is more substantive in nature. You gotta go to the source of all of the things. And I know that's not easy to do. Some of us have had a lot of deep conditioning that has skewed our relationship of who and what God is. And that's a whole conversation to unpack at a later date. But I want to say to, at least in short form, for those of you who are feeling overwhelmed and confused and scared and afraid of, as people keep saying, the next 4 years, I don't want to really talk about, like, it's not about the 4 years to me. This is a bigger activation that is happening. And so it's like, if we really want to grow in this season and through this time of craziness, we gotta take it higher. Like, we have to. So what does that mean? What does that even look like? For me, it has just activated me so much more. It's activated me so much more in the last 24 to 48 hours to do my part. And my part for me feels like really equipping people with the tips and the strategies and the tools that they need to learn how to self-care and self-master through whatever life brings. That is what mastery is. That is what it is, y'all. It's when you can look in the face of reality and transcend it. It's when you can go inside yourself to self-soothe well enough that whatever is going on outside of you, that you are able to find another layer of resilience and of strength and of hope and health, that you can dig deeper in yourself to find God in the midst of all of this evil. That's what I hope to do in this world, is to continue to teach people how to become even more unbothered and unscathed by the things that you see. I know it feels so real. I know it does. This reality, this shit looks real. Listen, I get it. I get it. But now more than ever, we are starting to see you do not have control over things in this dimension. You only have control over yourself. That is it. That's all you got. And if you're not making it your business to really learn how to rise above this fray energetically, I don't know really how to support you in this time. Because if you stay locked in this 3D reality, you're gonna go crazy. I'm just gonna fast forward to the end. And you know why? It's like typical gaslighter behavior. You're made to feel like you are the crazy one when you have all of the solid facts and data. But there is a convincing that feels so strong that you're not thinking and seeing what you're thinking and seeing correctly, that you might start to challenge yourself, like, what is it me? That is a part of the game. That's a part of the process. Okay. So it's important that we really learn how to take care of ourselves, you guys. Our minds, first and foremost, our bodies, our spirits, okay? We've got to learn how to take care of ourselves, okay? You cannot depend on the conditions in your physical reality to line up in such a way that makes you comfortable. Not anymore, okay? And honestly, I don't think that's a bad thing. I actually think it's a good thing that we are starting to get activated. I think it's a good thing I got activated, okay? It's a good thing that I can feel the feelings of sadness and sorrow in mass, because it allows me to know more clearly what my work is here and why this work has been so important in my life. And what's so fascinating to me, what is so fascinating to me is that I have felt very called for a long time to teach self-mastery. And I've been asking for God to grow my brand and grow my business and do all of these things that allow me to support people. But at the same time, I always knew that it was only going to become popular when things got worse. And we haven't even seen worse. It's like now loading. Like, I've always known that subconsciously, that what I'm selling, nobody's gonna want to buy until they get desperate. And I'm not here for conversations around like doom and gloom and desperation. I am here to have a very open and honest and conscious conversation around what people are feeling right now. And I know people are feeling helpless and hopeless in many ways that is just not true. I know that. It's easy to feel defeated when you see so much energy and messaging showing you that you don't have power, and these people or that person and this thing, they do. I know that's hard. Okay, I do. I know that's hard. But I really just want to encourage people to stay steeped and grounded in your rituals, in your self-care, in your prayer, in your meditation, in your retreat, in isolation. You know, it's got the last few days, I've been doing so much filtering on my social media platforms, just really starting to protect my peace in a more aggressive fashion, from limiting who I follow to paying more attention to the platforms that I spend time on. I mean, I'm just moving with a little bit more intention than I was last week, because it has a bigger stake. There's bigger stakes. I don't think we have the liberty of just frivolously spending our money in places and with organizations and with people who don't have our best interests in mind. And when I say our, I'm not talking about any particular demographic or political party. I'm talking about our as in the average person, a person, you know, regardless of gender, race, creed, all the things. It's like, just as a human being, like, human beings that don't value other human beings don't get my money anymore. I mean, it's just that simple. And I hope that you all are starting to think the same way. You know, there's all this language about a particular party really runs, they're motivated by money. And I don't know why the rest of us haven't figured that out and started to be more strategic about where we put our money. But I know that that is part of my charge, is to really put my money where my mouth is and nowhere else. So I don't know what you all want to take from that, but my heart aches. Not because we are hopeless and helpless, but because people feel that way. People feel that way. There's so much despair that is happening right before our eyes. It's really hard to watch. It's really hard for me to watch. Okay. Yeah, it's really hard to watch. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this experience. I'm grateful to be triggered in this way and activated in this way. I'm grateful I moved out of America. Ugh. So anyways, let's get into some cards and see what comes through these messages. Oh, Crystal, thank you. I am getting better. I can talk. I can hold my head on my shoulders today. Still got that going on, but it is getting better. Oh, my honey, thank you. We appreciate you and people like you. Thank you. Yeah, it's a funny thing, though, because I've been emotional since midnight. I mean, just like the tears just well up. Because there's a vacancy. There's a vacancy that really can only be filled by your knowing that there's something greater happening. It's like, if you don't know that there's something greater happening through all of this, then it's easy to get bogged down with the minutia, the details of what we see. So it's like, we gotta go above that. We gotta think higher. We gotta go higher. It's like, this is a part of a dynamic unfolding that feels like it's going in the wrong direction, but it really is going in the right direction. And we can see it already. We can see it already with people who are starting to band together, communities that are starting to connect. Folks are getting to know their neighbors. People are doing outreach and fundraising and donating and organizing and galvanizing and all the things. Like, we see the benefit already through some of these challenges. And I know it's hard to kind of stay focused on like something of value that's happening in the midst of something that's difficult, but I just need you all to remember to go higher in your perspective and to go inside in your self-care. Like, those are the two strategies I'll just continue to repeat for the rest of 2025 and beyond, is to go higher in your perspective and go deeper into your own self-care. Okay, that is just going to be the glue that sticks. Okay, I don't know that any other strategy of staying focused. It's not about watching the news and staying abreast of who's doing that. Self-mastery. Self-mastery. That no matter what happens out here, you know you are going to be good. And so you hear a lot of intuitives and a lot of folks in the what's the word I'm trying, my brain. I don't want to say psychics. You hear a lot of content creators, I'll say that, talking about oh my God, I'm just losing my whole thoughts. Let me just leave it there. I've had 3 brain cells for the last 6 days. We're not going to expect perfection today. All right, I'm going to move on. So I was drawn to this Moonology deck. I haven't worked with this deck in a few weeks, actually, and it's here today. Okay. I feel like these cards are speaking to kind of what to do with this uncertain energy. It's like an antsiness that I feel. It feels like an antsiness. It's like people want to do something, but they don't know what to do. Okay. And it's like, I want to do something, but I don't know what to do. And the energy wants to point outward, which is a good thing. It's point it out at your community. Ask people what they need. Okay. If you want to do something and you're not really sure what to do, it's like, ask people around you what they need and start there. Okay, it's not even like going down to the missions and doing all the things yet. It's like, just ask the folks that are in your immediate proximity, what do they need? They may be doing things that are helping other people. It's like, just build your network from your own nucleus and spread out. Build community. Community is the theme, y'all, for the next several years. It is community. So those of you who try to live in isolation and do things all on your own and be bad by yourself, this ain't the season for that. This is, everybody needs somebody. And not just need somebody, you need what they know. You need the skills they have. You need the wisdom they have. You need the help they can bring. You know, it's like we need each other more than ever, ever, ever before. Okay. That sounds really cliche to say, but that's how it's coming. So the first card I have says A Time for Healing. A time for healing. Okay. Now, could this be any more accurate? Shit. Clearly. I need to heal from this, this fever. Some more. And it is a time for healing. And it's not just solo healing. It is communal. So it's like, for those of you who are putting up the wall that you don't want to talk to somebody just because of who they voted for, I don't know that that's exactly the strategy. Okay, I'm not telling anybody what to do. I don't know that that's the strategy. I don't know how we foster communication if there's no open lines. So I am a big fan of protecting your peace. So for instance, some things that I've been doing is I pay attention to the energy of a thing and how it makes me feel. And I noticed that in my timeline, there's a lot of people that I know. These are not like strangers or celebrities. It's like people that are in my friend group, you know. I had to start unfollowing some folks because just I don't like the way their content makes me feel. And it doesn't make me feel alive. It doesn't make me feel excited, and I don't feel invigorated. I don't feel like I'm learning anything. I don't feel like I'm growing, and I don't feel like it's bringing value. So I control alt delete. And then there's some folks who have some really strong opinions who I may not agree with, but makes me think. It makes me at least hold space for another opinion. And I don't know, here's an unpopular opinion real quick, is I understand white supremacy. Like, I understand it. I understand how that works, and I understand why legions of people are sucked into it, and how that system works. I understand that. So I don't get mad at, certain individuals who have very biased perspectives on things. It's like, what else would they think? That's what they've been taught to believe about themselves and the world around them. So I don't blame them that's how they think. This is how the world is cultivated for them. So that's what it is. But and some people are still open to learn and grow, and some people are not. And you'll learn the difference between the two. But this card says a time for healing, which for me means keeping that line of communication open, but being discerning about what doors you leave open. So it's like everybody is not going to be open to the communication, but for those who maybe they don't agree with you, but maybe they are still open to the conversation. Keep that door open, okay? And, certain people are just entrenched in who they think they are and what they think they know, and then that's that. So, they're probably least likely to be engaging in a conversation of an opposite opinion. And that door might need to be closed, okay? But this card of healing means it's really about self-care and discernment. Self-care and discernment, okay? So healing for me is more than just my physical body. I've really done some filtering, like I said, that was really for my health. And I feel like this card is speaking to that for you as well, to do some filtering for your health, okay? On your social media platforms, your friends list, maybe even the shows you watch on television. Hell, anybody that's watching the news in 2025, God bless you all. I just don't even know how you do it. The fact that the news is still a thing is wild to me. But, especially in the age of social media, like, why do we have the news? What is the purpose of a news? And I'll just leave that as a rhetorical question. I already know the answer. So anyways, a time for healing. So what does that mean for you? What does that look like for you in your self-care? What does that look like for you in, the community that you're building, or the friendships that you stoke, or the conversations that you keep open and alive? Okay, keep your healing at its forefront. This is not about becoming a martyr to all the conversations, to champion all the things and fight for the right of do what you feel called to do. But this time for healing, it really is, it feels like it really is community-based, yet self-focused, okay? Community-based, yet self-focused, okay? Oh my goodness, we gonna make it. Thank you for liking the video. Next card says step out of your comfort zone, okay? Step out of your comfort zone. So this feels like it kind of piggybacks off of that, using your discernment to decide who you are in community with and what conversations you have. The step out of your comfort zone is about, saying the unpopular thing, okay? It is about, speaking truth to power at times. And when I say speaking truth to power, I mean that in terms of a dynamic, not a position, okay? So maybe you're in a group of people and they're all talking about a conversation from one particular slant and you don't necessarily want to rock the boat. The step out of your comfort zone energy is like, maybe that's the time where you are supposed to rock the boat. Okay. It may not be the popular opinion in the moment, but it might be the opinion that needs to be heard in the moment. So stepping out of your comfort zone means that some of you all will have to, at some point, consider leaning into that uncertainty of whether or not this is the right time or place to talk about said thing or experience. But it's like, if you feel that nudge to say something, you probably should. Okay. If you feel the nudge to say something, you probably should. If you feel an active part of you gets activated from something you hear or something you see or something you learn, it's like, and you feel drawn to take action in a particular way, but you're like, I'm not sure, you probably should. Okay. The step out of your comfort zone is like what all of us really have to do at this point, because no one can just stay entrenched in their side. You heard me say very clearly, like, I understand white supremacy. It doesn't mean I support it. It doesn't mean I want to reinforce it. It doesn't mean I don't want it to go away. Okay. But I understand it. And in that understanding, I can offer a small degree of empathy. Okay. And empathy doesn't mean agreeance. Okay. It means I can understand your human experience. Okay. And isn't that what we all want from each other? Is to understand each other's human experience. I can feel in the days and weeks to come, I'm going to be saying a lot of polarizing things. And I'm prepared to stand on all of it. So I know there's folks in my community that don't really appreciate the journey of non-melanated people. And yeah, again, understanding does not mean agreeance. Okay. Empathy does not mean agreeance. It is connecting with the soul of a situation. Yeah, I'm going to stop there. Okay. So step out of your comfort zone and a time for healing are the two cards that came up. And you know, this Moonology deck is a timing thing. So it's given like it's time. Okay. It's giving that it's time for healing. It's time for us to start doing and having more courageous conversations, as they say. But even greater than courageous conversations are courageous actions. You know, being willing to sit down with someone who has a very juxtaposed opinion or opposite opinion than you, that's not a bad thing. When we talk about building community, we immediately think like-minded. I know that's what I think. It's like people that think like me is who I want to build with. I've said that numerous times. And, you know, if I'm being honest with myself, that's not exactly the best foot to put forward either. Because how do we grow if everybody thinks like you? You know, how do we find a new inspiration if, you know, if it's all what we're familiar with? And I think there's a lot to be said for just learning how to listen to people and learning how to listen without judgment, or learning how to listen without feeling emotionally triggered and activated in a negative way. All of these things are the gifts that self-mastery brings. So self-mastery is not just about you not losing your shit. It's about allowing yourself to be more present so that you can really, really hear what someone is saying to you. It's so that you can be fully available without judgment, bias, or even your own mental distraction to receive whatever, you know, the experience might be trying to gift you that's actually of value. You know, it's like we think, okay, somebody is from this demographic or this tribe or this cult. Slip that in there. They're cold, sorry. Can't walk that back, they are. Um, it's like on the surface, it's like, no, I don't never want to talk to anybody like that. But it's like, how do you know? And, you know, they're people too. And again, it's not to try to sway anybody, it's just conversation. Like, can you stay grounded in a conversation without getting emotionally triggered when you're talking to someone who doesn't agree with you? Like, that is the skill we all have to master right now. Okay. Y'all, it's my first day back. I'm just like, I'm just gonna spill out these messages and I'm gonna move on. Take them as sound bites, glean what you can. But it's a lot of energy around self-mastery today and every day. Okay. It's a lot of energy around discernment. To decide who you build community with. And it's not, that discernment is not just about a matter of your ego opinion and who you like and don't like. Discernment is like who you feel called to and not called to. You know, not every conversation on the internet requires you to, you know, go off in the thread or in the comment section trying to sway down somebody else's opinion of something, you know. My hope is really that this is a year that we not only build community, but that we learn to listen to each other, you know, to hold space for different perspectives, and to learn how to negotiate that middle as best as we can. And I know some of you are like, well, some people don't want to really negotiate their stance. They don't have to change their stance, okay? And it's not about trying to change nobody's mind about everything, okay? That's just not the dimension we live in. We have diversity in this dimension. Yeah, we have diversity of perspectives and opinions. Yeah. And they're all equitable. And they all should be included. All right, I gotta hurry up and get this done. Hello, Carrie. Thank you all for joining the live. I'm glad to see y'all. It's good to be back, y'all. It's been a real hard road. This fucking dengue fever just fucking wiped us out. Vic is still wiped out. I am feeling much better. I am upright. My body feels better, way better. But yeah, I mean, just still feeling weak and with not a lot of gas in the tank here. And my cognitive function is real off. So, y'all bear with me. But thank you for joining. One more card here. Oh my gosh, you guys, it has been a whirlwind. Look at that. Adversity. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. So, you know, again, if we're all getting along, aren't we all having the same conversation? Sometimes we need a little conflict to get clarity. And another unpopular opinion is I don't really think it's Hmm. Maybe I won't say that. Let me just channel. Let me just keep my opinions out. I'm probably not in a good space to be sharing my thoughts. Let's just channel. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. So, y'all have heard me talk about this numerous times, numerous occasions, on numerous topics, that adversity be the best teacher. And when we can look at a negative experience and find something of value in it, is when we really gain the power in it. You know, adversity comes to gift us with new wisdom, a new way to do something, or it helps us to tap into a deeper part of our resilience and resolve. It's activating. Adversity is activating, okay? And it can be activating in a number of ways, right? We can fall into the woe is me, or we can also take that energy and then look to problem solve it. We can look to resolve it. We can look for answers. As it says, it's the best way to learn. We can look at adversity and dissect it and let it teach us how to live better. It doesn't have to be the thing that takes us down. We can look at all that is happening in the world around us right now and say, okay, we can fold to this, or we can develop some new infrastructures and new systems and new practices and new communal policies and new ways of being that transcend anything that we've ever had before. And it all came on the back end of some bullshit that we call adversity. Like, we got ways to handle this. And accepting what we can stand to learn from this time is what I subscribe to personally, and what I encourage you all to do the same. Is not what can't I do, but what can I now do because of this adversity? What does this adversity now position me better to do than I probably couldn't do before? You know, even as I was talking about my own life and my own business and my purpose, which is the other card here, interestingly enough, my purpose is being activated by adversity. It's not the script I would have written, but it's the one that's being wrote for me. Being wrote, yes. So the card purpose is here. Because when we alchemize the energy of adversity and we find what we can learn from it, then we unlock what the purpose is. Because I don't know about y'all, but I know I don't be going through hard times for nothing. I know it comes to teach me something. It comes to elevate me in some particular way. And yeah, again, sometimes it comes on the back of bullshit. I hate that for us. Oh, there we go. Charge my phone. So the card says, I know what I am here to do. And I don't know if y'all know what you're here to do, but you know, if you're feeling triggered by anything that's happening in the world and you're feeling activated in any one particular way, that's probably a good sign, particularly if you're being activated to do something that is a strength-based, creates a strength-based experience for somebody else, or creates opportunity for somebody else. It's like, if these hard times are activating something in you that, you know, wasn't tapped into before, like, pay attention to that. That is a good thing, actually. It's not just coming by default because of circumstance right now. It's actually coming to show you another part of you, and potentially a really purpose-driven part of you. So I know I've had several friends reach out to me because they want to do different things, you know, to support community in back home in LA. And I love that people are activated. I love to see that community is coming together, and especially in a place like LA. It's not like the South. LA is every man for himself. It's dog eat dog out there. So to see people coming together and looking out for each other, and, you know, and really attending to each other's needs in this time is just tremendous. So pay attention to what's getting activated in you, and don't take it just as something that's just coming and going, but it's an activation, and it can stay active if you stick with it. I feel like some of you have been activated in recent days and weeks in a new way that is outside of your profession or outside of your normal everyday routine. It's like, I don't know, it's like, it's given like emergency response. It's like, in a time of emergency, it's like, hell, what else is going on? This is what we got to do right now. And it's like that kind of mentality and that kind of momentum. It's not just because of the moment of the emergency. It's like it's activating something in you. Pay attention to it, okay? It's like something to carry on, okay? It's not something to let go of just when, the dust settles. It's something to carry on, okay? So I feel like they feel like veiled and vague messages. So take it as it resonates for you and leave whatever doesn't, okay? I got 1 or 2 more cards. Ooh. If you didn't get a chance to like the video, do a sick girl a favor. Oh, I like that card. Do a sick girl a favor. Ooh, the vibes feel real raggedy, but I'm just moving through it, y'all. Give me some grace. I appreciate you. Okay. So I like that the energy is kind of raising in its vibration as I wind down this message. So I got excuse me. Your soul shines. Okay, come on, little card. Boom. Your soul shines. So, I don't know what y'all have been doing. I know not everybody is in California where that thing was going on. There was some shit that went on in New Orleans and some shit that went on in Vegas, and there's this shit going on everywhere, right? I mean, shit. Even right now, there's a snowstorm in Houston right now. So there's just all kind of shit everywhere, okay? But this card says your soul shines. And so it feels like, so it feels like, I don't know how to say this. It's like, I like this. So it's like, you guys are good people, okay? You're a good person, and yet your soul shines. But it's like you're a good-natured person, and that shows, okay? It's like people recognize your kindness and your compassionate heart. And people recognize your positive attitude and your kind words. It's like these are superpowers in the day and age like now, okay? To be able to radiate love and light in the midst of dark times or difficult circumstances, that's a real gift that you all have. And this is a collective message. So if you're hearing this message or if you hear this on the replay, I'm talking to you. This card says your soul shines. It's like who you are at your essence. You may not be, everybody's best friend, but like who you are at your essence is a real gift to humanity. And even if that is all you have to give, maybe you don't have money, and you don't have a whole heap of extra time, and you don't know, you know, you don't have a network to be able to do nothing. It's like who you are is enough to hold space and to create change. Who you are is enough, okay? It's like who you are is enough to help people, okay? So if even if you're not, you know, doing all the things, you're not volunteering and you're not helping do that or do, you know, all these charitable philanthropic things that people like to do when, you know, tough times come. It's like who you are is enough. Just being a good friend, just being a listening ear, um, just being physically present. Okay, these are real gifts. Okay, so it's a lot of energy around like, it's a lot of energy around like, I want to say like being yourself. It's like not just being yourself, but recognizing the value of your good nature, recognizing that that holds weight and impact, recognizing that that can actually influence and sway is what I'm hearing. That can influence and sway people's opinions about certain things. Okay. So it's like just be a good human. Shit. I mean, that's just the bottom line. Just everybody be a fucking good human, bro. And then the rest of us, we're all gonna be good. If just be a good human, and in everything is gonna continue to evolve in an upward trajectory. If we can all just practice being a good human, being kind, being compassionate, being open-minded, like these are all character traits, okay? And you might think, well, doesn't everybody just know to do that? No, they don't, okay? You know, some people don't even recognize they have a soul, okay? So it's like you do though. You know you have a soul, and you know you have a compassionate heart, and you know you can be a good listener and a good friend and a good example for certain eyes that need to see a different lens on life. So it's like just be yourself. You don't have to go out and champion every cause and do all the things. Let your presence speak. Let your light shine. Okay? Let your soul shine. All right. Y'all see my little kitchen? That's not my kitchen. Kitchen's outside. All right. Celebrate your wins. Okay. So, this doesn't just mean like, okay, I'm really drawn to this image. I don't know what y'all see, but I know what it looks like to me. So, for me, it gives me the indication like to celebrate your wins. Celebrate your wins. It just feels like, yeah, it feels like, you know, as they say, Rome wasn't built in a day. You know, so any change that you want to see in your local community or your larger community obviously is not going to be a stroke overnight, you know. To celebrate your wins is like, and it's not even about trying to, I want to be clear, it's not about trying to convince somebody to think differently or be differently or any of those things. It's like, celebrate your wins. It's like, yeah, if you're able to make a breakthrough in a conversation with somebody, you know, and it felt like, you know, it wasn't going to end up agreeable and then it ends up agreeable, it's like, yeah, celebrate that win. It's also like an energy of like celebrate the wins of when you don't feel compelled to like cuss somebody out because of something they did or said or didn't do or say, or, you know, it's like, it's like, it's yeah, it's like this notion of celebrating your wins is not looking for perfection in life or in circumstances, but it is looking for improvement. And so, for some reason, they're giving me this like to go straight to like a work context for some of you, to celebrate your wins at work. Okay, so it's like maybe you did stand up and advocate around something, or maybe you were able to launch something and get something accomplished that you didn't think that you were going to be able to do that benefited you or others. It's like this energy of celebrate your wins is like a positive mindset shift. And so it feels like in the midst of all the craziness and all of the uncertainty and disparaging things that might be going on in the world around us, to keep focusing on the positives. Okay, so it's like, well, this and this and this and this is fucked up, but at least da 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 da. It's that kind of energy. Okay, so it's like finding, it's like, yeah, look, okay, it's like letting gratitude be the attitude. Okay, as I see the card gratitude again, let gratitude be the attitude. It's so easy to sit around and feel like, shit is just out of our hands and out of our control, and I don't know what's going to happen with this, and da 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 da, and go through again this whole negative loop of dis-ease and uncomfort, all these thoughts and feelings that don't feel good and leave us feeling helpless and hopeless. It's like you got to shift that mindset into gratitude. This, and this is not okay, but this, and this is great. I'm grateful for that. Okay. There's like, it's keeping your eye on the positive prizes. Remember, again, on the backside of adversity can be our greatest lessons. So it's that again. Okay. So it's every time you want to focus on how fucked up everything is, it's like, what else is also true? Shit needs to be your next question. What else is also true? Okay, so, for instance, I know everybody was all up in arms around this whole Toctic thing. And, while many people have their platforms on there and, lost it for 12 hours or whatever it was, only to, of course, get it all back. But it's like, what did we learn? Okay, what did you learn from that? And I've heard a whole myriad of things, even just from people I know. I mean, my own daughter was like, when it went down, she was like, I'm glad it's down because now I can be be less distracted, And I heard other people talking about like, yeah, it went down, so now I know that I got to do something different with my business because they could just take my whole business away at any second. It's like, what else is also true is really serving people. Because if you just took it for face value, anybody who just like let it go down and came back up and they have changed nothing about their business model or how they use the platforms, it's like, did they learn the lesson? Maybe not. Okay, but for those who did and are, it's like it's that's a great thing, right? So, yeah. So this gratitude again card is given all the vibes of like just staying focused on what you have to be grateful for, y'all. I mean, there's just too many things that we can constantly complain about and feel discouraged about, that it's imperative that we, one, continue to let our positive lights shine. Okay. We must do that. Okay. Don't allow people to take the joy out of your spirit and peace out of your heart. Okay. Through your own practices of self-mastery, you can become unfuckwittable. Okay. Something that I always find interesting, and keep in mind that both of my parents grew up in the rural South. Both of my parents grew up in in Tennessee. My mom was from Nashville. My dad was from Memphis. And they're since deceased, but I heard a lot of stories about their childhood upbringings, which were not very kind, growing up as colored folks, as they were known at that time, or Negroes. And in the Deep South, it's just a very unforgiving place. And having heard all the stories of the challenges. I mean, from my mom going to the Woolworth counters and being harassed, and you know, I mean, just being young colored children in the South, just constantly harassed. I mean, it was just so many aspects of their life experience that, in retrospect, it's like, damn, how did they survive all this shit? How did they deal with all of that, you know, and come out of it still being peaceable people and peaceable to white people, you know? Like, how did they do that? And I still don't have the answers, because, child, I don't even know. I don't even know how they have managed to do that. But yeah, I lost my thought again. I'm glad to hear you say that. I hope these messages are making sense, you guys. I am literally out of my mind. These are the first coherent thoughts I've had in almost a week. Okay. I'm not even shitting you. I'm sure I'll watch this back and I'll be like, oh, yep, you lost your thought there. But I'm not going to worry about none of that today. I just want to encourage you all to remember to take care of yourselves, to protect your peace. Oh, that's what I was going to say. This to be provoked. I was talking about my parents growing up in the Deep South and being provoked by white people and activated on a regular basis, but not able to retaliate or act out in a way that allowed them to defend themselves or protect themselves. Like, I just don't know how they did that. But I do understand how important that is, to be able to self-regulate to that extent. And I was saying, I find it fascinating that even to this day, that that black people are triggered by the word nigger in the same way that we have always been triggered by this word. It's like, at what point do we stop giving ourselves permission to be triggered by this word? That's the art of mastery. And I'm very aware of the history. And again, this conversation in no way supports and agrees with, condones, yada, yada, yada. But it's just food for thought. It's just, you know, if that's all it takes is somebody to call you a nigga and then you feel like you got full license to just go crazy and go ham, like, that's not emotional intelligence. I mean, and if anything, it kind of further validates the claim. It's ignorant. So, I really encourage people to really step into a new level of consciousness that doesn't give people permission or power over them, especially just using words. I mean, people can say whatever they want to say. Somebody can stand in my face all day and tell me I'm a purple dinosaur, and I'm going to be like looking at them like they're fucking crazy. And the same as if you call me a nigga, just because you say it and you got hate in your eyes and you say it with disdain doesn't mean I have to embody it. So, again, unpopular opinions. All right, I'm tapped out. Vic told me not to do too much, and I think I did it anyway, so I'm gonna go. I hope I feel better soon. It's getting better. Oh, Jordan, thank you so much. I don't even know what the fuck I just said. I'm gonna have to listen to it back. I love y'all so much. Thank you for sharing yourselves with me this morning. I think I'm gonna continue to get better, so I'll be back tomorrow, and hopefully it'll be a little bit better. Take care of yourselves. Take care of yourselves. Your joy is your job. Okay, remember that? Your joy is your job. And there's nothing in this domain that can affect you that you don't let and allow. Okay. I mean, for as long as you have freedom, you've got free will to choose what you give your power over to. And I know for me, my peace of mind is way too important for me to be just frivolously giving it over to someone just because of some words that they express. That's just not at all. That's not at all something that I'm willing to do. So, let's see what messages come up tomorrow. I think it's going to be a very interesting year. And like I said, the best thing that you can do for yourself is learn how to better self-care and self-regulate. And so for those of you who are still working on that, learning how to achieve different and higher levels of mastery to where you can be unbothered and unscathed by people in their nonsense, tap in. Okay, you know, book a consultation, maybe even book a private personal reading so we can dive deeper into what that looks like for you to transform that. But we're in a season of deep change. They say we're in the age of Aquarius. Okay. Nothing but deep change and transformation on the way. So the joy of this is that you get to choose how you change. So as I say, choose to be great every day, no matter what. I love y'all.